Very good. Okay. All right. So, long time no see, eh? Sorry about that. I miss you all, but here we are. I'm opening the, so Jessica, how you doing? Morning.
Hi, morning. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Excellent.
I can see your face.
Yes, that's because my camera is off.
I was just being sarcastic though.
Just joking.
So Gabby, Isaac, hello, Josue, how you doing, Josue?
Hi, fine, thank you. We are here ready to learn something today.
Very good, excellent, perfect. Again, sorry for the delay.
It's okay, we understand that.
Okay, let's go into it really fast. All right, can you see my screen? Yeah,
yes.
Now if you see it, cool, excellent. Perfect. Okay, so today's topic is about something that is the cocoa for English teachers, and that is the grammar. Okay, and let me tell you why is the cocoa for English teachers, because unless you are a linguistic, so that means that you study around 12 years in university to have a doctorado, no, a PhD in linguistics. Grammar is always going to be something that you need to prepare in order to present it. Now, I said, notice, check what I said. I said that is the cocoa for English teachers. It doesn't matter if we are Mexican or if we're American. Okay, this is very important to mention. A person that is native, whether it's American, Canadian, or whatever, that is native speaking, native speaker, that doesn't mean necessary that he or she knows grammar. It happens the same with us in Spanish, right? We speak Spanish, but we have levels per se of learning and levels of how can I say levels of the way we speak. You can tell a person that hasn't gone to school, he speaks English, or Spanish, a very poor and bad Spanish, but he speaks Spanish at the end of the day, right? A person that studied in university, that that reads a lot and writes a lot, well, then his or her vocabulary will be more, open and wide, correct? So the same thing happens in native speakers. I myself have fired 2 or 3 Americans that doesn't know grammar. So this is for us. It doesn't matter if we're native or Mexican, okay? Now, we all here are Mexican. So even more so, we need to prepare for grammar. Okay, so far so good? Okay, now, so this is not going to be a grammar class. No, this is going to be a class for you to, how can I say it? To make conscience in how to teach grammar. Okay? Okay. So, excuse me. What is grammar? A ver, Jessica, when I say grammar, what comes to your mind?
Comes to my mind, making a structure of a sentence, something like that, for explaining, yes, for explaining how to create a sentence with depending in the tense. Yeah, that's coming from my.
Okay, so structures, very good. Isaac, what comes to your mind when I say the word grammar?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, what comes to your mind when I say the word grammar?
You know, like formulas and examples.
All right, sentences, samples, very good. Gabby.
Thanks, teacher. I think is the whole system and structure of a language or of languages in general, usually taken as consisting of syntax and morphology. That's all. Thanks.
Very, very good book definition. Check this out. What can you read this, Josue? This is not a book definition, but it's a definition.
It says, the grammar of a language is the description of the ways in which words can be changed their forms and can be combined into sentences in that language.
So basically what Gabby said, right? Changing the morphology and the syntax. All those weird names that we learned in primaria, right? So the morphology is the way that they are, the form, and the syntax is the conjugations. Hey, Susie, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, teacher. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so can you read this, Isaac?
Okay, grammar is sometimes defined as the way words are put together to make correct sentences. It's a good starting point and an easy way to explain mistakes. Thus, I am teacher is grammatical, but I a teacher and I are a teacher aren't. We can also apply the term grammatical to smaller on nights. For instances,
For
instance, when to go.
Very good. So check all the mistakes that that is I a teacher or when to go. All right. So it's incorrect. Yeah, it's incorrect, but we're gonna see today that some people actually use it, but hold that thought. So what would happen, Susana? What could happen if we didn't have a good grammatical language? If we didn't have grammar, what would happen, Susana? Susie? Susie Q? You having problems with the audio? Okay. But can you listen to me? Manifest by the power of God. Okay, Susie's having problems with connection. Yes, what would happen if we didn't have a good, if we didn't have grammar? What would happen?
Well, I think if we have a bad grammar, we're not going to, how to say it, we're not going to not express correctly. It's like if we have if we have bad grammar, we won't be able to teach our students the correctly way for creating a sentence, for speaking, something like that comes to my mind. I don't know.
Okay, all right, Josue.
I think that if in our daily life, we won't be able to explain ourselves in a correct way. And if we are thinking as a teacher, we won't be ready to explain or to teach our students.
Very good. Like Tarzan, right? Me, Tarzan, you, Jane. So it would be a very, very poor language communication. So in this course, we're going to use grammatical structure as for a specific instance of grammar. For example, tenses, non-plurals, comparative, and their speech, etc. Okay, so bottom line, grammar is important in classes, yes or no? Bottom line, grammar is important in classes. All right. A little bit of humor. Josue, can you read it?
Yeah, it says, so who are you spending your birthday with? Don't end a sentence with a preposition. So who are you spending your birthday with? Miss Grammar correcting is not those at which.
So it's a little bit of British humor, right? However, it does make sense. There is a grammar rule that it says that you can't end a sentence with a preposition, okay? And everybody uses it. What are you talking about? It's a preposition. Where are you going to? It's a preposition. Who are you spending your birthday with? It's a preposition. Okay, so we're going to see in this course, in this topic, that when we teach grammar, we need to be open to all the various and all the different ways people talk. Okay, so why is grammar important in class? Gabi, without grammar rules, how would our classes be?
Thank you, Chair. There is a good preparation for our teacher, because they need to learn us how to use auxiliaries, how to make a sentence, how to make a lot of things we need to speak it.
Very good. So if we didn't have that preparation, our classes will be chaos, right? Will be chaotic. All right. So now, in order to teach grammar, we're going to divide two main approaches. So the first approach is dividing the whole English language. Continue reading, Jessica.
Dividing the whole English language into manageable bite-sized cookies and then introduce them to students, one cookie at a time, so that they gradually and systematically accumulate a complete picture of the language.
Okay, so thank you, Jesse. That's the first, the first approach, or the first form to teach grammar, and that's the most common. One day you're gonna present continuous, the other day present continuous in format question form, present continuous negative form. So in a small bite size or small classes to teach, that's the most common, right? But now check the second approach. Can you read the Josue? Number 2.
Create an environment where a lot of language, known and unknown, is met, mainly when doing speaking and listening task, and where their students are helped with new language only when they already have some awareness of it and have curiosity or questions about it.
Very good. So, and this approach is different. This is called the intuitive approach or the discovery approach. Schools like Harmon Hall many years ago, they were good about it. Lady, yeah. They were good about it. And this is what happens. They have a classroom full of flashcards, full of keywords. They don't have the structure written and they start talking. Yeah. Sorry about that. And they start talking, right? And then the student will discover by itself, like, es present continuous, es ing, ing, es pasado, and so forth. This approach is really good if you have 3 premises. Number 1, you have time to prepare because it requires lots and lots of material. Number 2, your group is small, no more than 5, maybe 8 students. And 3, you have the patience to wait for the students to discover. So, yes, Gaby.
Thanks, teacher. I think it's not a good method because I know a people who knows how to speak English, but not knows how to write. They don't know how to know the grammar, the correct grammar to write it. I don't know. I don't think it's a good method. Do I wrong?
No. It's actually, your opinion is always correct, Gaby. I myself have seen classes, very good classes, and very good students that actually learn English. Like around, let's see, 20 years ago, maybe 21 years ago, I worked 1 year for Harmon Hall. You know Harmon Hall? Okay, but I worked for the corporative. I was a teacher's trainer. But before, in those years, Harmon Hall, they didn't even have books. It was all intuitive method. And it was very good. The students actually learned. The students actually spoke English. But it required a lot of time. So here we have a problem called money. In those years, English teachers, at least in Harmon Hall, were better paid. See what I mean? So for example, Harmon Hall hired Josue and they paid him maybe what is the equivalent today of 10,000 pesos a month, which is, a nice, it's a fairly okay salary. And he worked all day. So he had the time to prepare. He had the time to teach. Nowadays, we don't, right? So it's a good method, but it requires much time. Yes, Susana.
Yes, teacher, this method is very useful for me because there are children.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Go ahead, sorry.
No, just continue.
Okay, yeah. So this is a very good method for children. Yes, of course. So, you know, it requires time, right? It requires time, Susana and everybody. Okay, so we're going to focus on the number one approach, okay? If you master number one, you can do master two, you can do number two easily. So, who tells you what to teach and not what to teach in grammar? Okay, number one, the institution. Some institutions promote the intuitive approach, like Harmon Hall. Nowadays, I believe Berlitz, and I believe este otro que está en Guadalajara, Quick Learning, but that is not really common. Or other schools, like for example, Kipling. I don't know if you have heard that franchise. It's primaria, secundaria, maybe prepa. They have even grammar days. Tuesday grammar, Thursday grammar, and so forth, no? So it depends on the institution that you work for. Number two, the group. The group that you is very different to teach a group in the morning to teach a group in the afternoon. I don't know if you have had that experience, Jessica. I know you're teaching.
Could you please repeat?
You're currently teaching, right, in a school.
Yes.
So when is your first hour?
My first hour?
Yeah, your first class. At what time?
Used to be at 8. At 8.
At 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And what is the last one?
The last one was at 2 p.m.
Okay, so was it different to teach at 8 in the morning than 2 p.m.?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because, well, in my case, in the mornings it's kind of difficult because I'm still sleeping.
Okay.
But at 2 p.m. it's like oh yeah, it's the class is finished, and I don't know, I don't want to know about you guys.
So it does influence, Jessica.
Yes.
It's very different, your mood and the way you teach from 8 in the morning to 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And even if you have, when we had presential classes, if you had a class right after recess, that's even worse. They're all sweaty, smelly, popped up in sugar, you know? So yes, your group influences the way you teach. That is a reality. It shouldn't, but it happens, right? And number three, the program that you're following. Maybe you're teaching TOEFL course. TOEFL course is not English course. TOEFL is all grammar. Maybe you're teaching translation course or a translation techniques. That's all grammar. Okay, so you need to, your institution, your group, the program will tell you how to teach the grammar, but we are going to know the tendencies to teach, the correct form to teach grammar, and then you adapt it to your local circumstances. Okay? All right. Another British joke. You rock, you rule. So, in order to present grammar, continue reading, Josue.
In order to present grammar, we need to understand it first, ourselves, and then prepare any presentation.
That's a must. Sorry, pause there, Josue. That is a must. In order to present grammar, you need to understand them first. That is a must. That is an obligation. It doesn't matter if the coordinator tells Isaac, hey, Isaac, tomorrow you're going to teach simple present. And Isaac is, yo me almuerzo simple present. O sea, I master it. It doesn't matter, okay? One thing is to be confident, and the other thing is to be overconfident or too confident, okay? Because in that moment, if you become too confident, guess what? You lose. Okay, so in order to, whatever the grammar tense is, understand it first. Continue reading, Josue.
The way to understand a grammar structure is by analyzing it. Thus, the term grammar analysis.
Continue.
Tips. Never present a grammar structure without analyzing it first. Avoid being too confident. Save your analysis for future classes. Always engage and update your analysis.
Very good. So, in order, before preparing your class, you need to do an analysis of the grammar that you're presenting. Simple as that. Josue, this is going to be you at one point of your life. I promise that. Sometimes the coordinator Alejandro tells you, you're gonna teach today is the second conditional. And you're like, okay. See. So it's part of the teaching career. That's why you need to analyze your structure, your grammar tense, okay? How can we do it? We're going to follow the analysis, we're going to divide the analysis into this element. Number one, Isaac.
Name. How is the grammar structure called? Be careful or researching all names.
Simple as that. The names, start with that. Different book, different name. Different country, different name. I remember one time when I was around 18, I applied for a teaching position. And the coordinator said, you're going to do a show class, a presentation class. Okay. Tomorrow, okay. You're going to do present progressive. Y yo así de, of course, yo me almuerzo present progressive. And then I walk out of the school and like, oh my God, what is present progressive? What is present progressive? Your audio, Josue?
I think it's the same as present continuous, isn't it?
Yes, it is the same, present continuous.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, but I didn't know that. And back in those days, we didn't have Google. So I had to go to the library and study what is, then when I realized, ay, geez. But be careful of researching all names, okay? Number two, Jessica.
Concept, language content. It's the most important part of the analysis. Assign a concept or a language content to the structure. When are my students using the grammar structure? What are the situations in which my students produce the grammar structure?
Exactly, very good.
Thank
So
you.
number two is the concept. Check the questions. When and what situations my students are using the grammar structure? I give an example. How much, how many? You remember that class? Countable and not countable? How much is the milk and how many lemons and how much milk? Countable, no countable. So don't be the Kool-Aid teacher that walks into the classroom y escribe en el pizarrón how much, how many, y lo pone countable, no countable, divide el pizarrón, o en este caso el Zoom, y le pone all the countables and all no the countables. ¿Hasta ahí vamos bien? The poor students are like, Okay, this is not countable. And then when they go to the supermarket in Estados Unidos, they don't know. So the concept is in what situations they're going to use it. So same class, different teacher walks into the classroom and say, okay, guys, today we're going to do the mandado in our houses. We're going to buy the groceries in our houses, okay? So what do you need? Apples, lemons, milk, water, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and then you have flashcards. How much, how many? Everybody, so how much lemons? Because how much is one and lemons is plural. No, teacher, okay, so lemons is how many? Y ya que repasaste todo, al final dices, okay, so these are countable and are not countable. Are you following me? So you see the difference? That is the concept. En español se llama enseñanza por competencias. You're going to teach competences or the functions of the language. Another example, simple present. What could be a concept for simple present? Okay, let's put it this way. Give me an example of a simple present tense, Jessica.
Like maybe making daily routines, or do you want to the structure?
No, give me a sentence. Give me a sentence.
I study-
I make out with my boyfriend every. Actually,
I study English.
very good. I study English. So I study English. I study mathematics. I study engineering. I study. What is that concept? We're talking about what? Professions, maybe? Okay, so simple present, professions, giving and receiving information. Hi, my name is Gerson. I study gardening. And Josue is, hi, Gerson, I'm Josue. I study. See the difference? Instead of being the Kool-Aid teacher walking in the classroom, ya sabes, primero los monitos, ¿no? I, you, he, she, it, bla, bla, bla. Y luego I am, y luego el verbo, copien esto, 10 oraciones. Don't do that. That is not correct. You need to teach them some sort of concept or some sort of situation when to use it. Okay? Yes, Gabi?
Thanks, teacher. You are talking about when we need that the students speak English and knowing how to speak English, not be a Kool-Aid teacher. This is the difference.
Yes,
This is
it's
the
making the
difference.
moda. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much,
Thank
Gabi. Very good. So it's the know-how. Is the know-how is when, how, when and where they're going to use the grammar. Okay? All right. Give me okay, let's go let me see. Give me 1 minute, okay? I need to answer the door. Or maybe we take let's take 5 minutes for a break and then come back. Yes? Okay, so it's 10:50, 11. Okay, so I'll see you here 11.
Okay.
Here, guys?
I'm here.
Good. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, let's continue. So, number 3. Read it, Josue.
Divide analysis into these elements to analyze 3 grammatical structure.
So number 3, you're going to write now the sentence, right? If it's simple present, you want to write the sentence. Okay, continue, Isaac. Move on.
Sorry, I have problems with my computer.
Okay, can you read number 4?
Okay. 4 rules, spelling rules, pronunciation rules.
Very good. You're going to do the sentence and then you're going to study all the rules pertaining the grammar tense, the spelling rules, pronunciation rules, and so forth. Number 5, Jessica.
Exceptions. Do we have exceptions in English grammar?
Very
What does it
interesting.
mean, teacher?
The exceptions to the rules. Very interesting questions. I'll give you an example. We have regular and irregular verbs, yes or no? Okay.
Yeah.
All the irregular verbs are exceptions. The rule says that regular verbs finishes with ed, right? In past. All the others are exceptions. There are, let me explain a little bit. English comes from 5 different languages. Comes from a very old German dialect. It comes from Latin. Actually, 17% of the English language is Latin. And 3 Romantic and Nordic dialects. So when you mix all of those, unlike Spanish that only comes from Latin, it's, you know, the mother tongue. When you have 5 different mother tongues, you have 1 rule and many exceptions. I'll give you an example in a bit. Number 6, Susie. No? Josue, number 6.
Possible activities related to concept.
Now you're going to think ahead in the class. What activities do you think you can have? Number 7, Isaac.
Okay. Possible problems when presenting grammar. Is it adapted to local students? Is it relevant to my students?
Very good. Number 8, Gabby.
Thanks, teacher. Possible question for our students. Why, teacher? Because that's the way is it. Don't say that.
That's the tendency of English teachers, right? ¿Por qué así, teacher? Pues porque así es. Then shut up. Don't do that. Maybe it is like that, but don't say it like that. See what I mean? Always think ahead on the possible questions from your students. It's better to answer a question before the question is asked. Okay, that's one of the premises of English teachers. Always think ahead on the possible questions for your students. And finally, the last point, Josue.
A joker. Why? Groups may be different, although having the same English level. Game.
Very good. Always have a joker or a card on your sleep per se, because maybe you have, like Jessica, no? Maybe she prepared a very cool class at 8 in the morning and the same one at 2 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, because everybody was very hyper, they finish 5 minutes early. What do you do, Jessica? Free class?
Well, yes, sometimes when I like we call tiempo muerto, it's like, oh my God, now what should I do? And I do that something like, okay, now let's make another, I don't know, activity. Just giving you example.
Very good. If you say free class, then everything that you have prepared is going, you know, it's ruined. Okay, so do not, let me do it again. Do not give free class. If you have 5 minutes left, you will have a joker, a game. Tic-tac-toe, hangman, fruit cocktail, find someone who, something, just to cover the time. Okay? All right. So something like this. This is actually perfectible because I did it. This was one of my first analysis. So you have the number, the name, present continuous, affirmative, and present form. And parentheses, present progressive. Yeah, I always say that because I remember my first experience. Concept, actions in progress, actions in process. And my concept, or when my students are going to use it, is in vacations, at work, maybe at home, or maybe at school. Fun fact. Why present continuous could be actions in progress or actions in process?
Could you repeat, please, the question, teacher?
Yeah, just a fun fact. My concept or my description was actions, excuse me, in process and actions in progress and process. Let me give you an example. Jessica, do you like reading books?
Yes.
Okay, you like reading books, very good. What, listen to my question. Okay, Josue, before asking the question.
Yeah, because with this sentence, present continuous, I can say, for example, that I'm reading a book. I mean, in this moment, I'm doing that. But if I said, I like reading, it's something that I already like to do. It's not, I'm not saying that I have to do it in this moment, but this is just an action that I enjoy to do that.
Yes and no. That's a different topic. If you say, same example like Jessica Josue, if I say, I like reading, okay, I am reading Harry Potter today. Okay, I am reading Harry Potter right now. Ahorita, it's an action in process. But maybe Josue is not reading the book right now, but he is reading the book at night. You can say that. I am reading Harry Potter at night. So that would be an action in progress. See the difference? Not right now, but you're still doing it. It's an action that is in progress and hasn't been completed. All right. See, Gabi?
Thanks, teacher. Not is important the hour, is important that he is doing.
Very
That's right.
good. Correct. That is not, it's an action that is still in progress. That's the thing, that it hasn't been completed. Okay. Now in structure, I am playing soccer right now. She's eating at her parents. And subject plus be plus present participle of the gerund plus complement. Rules, one rule. Rule number one, add ing to the verb. Rule number two, verb finishes in E, delete the E. Rule number three, CVC. ¿Qué es CVC? ¿Tiene idea? José?
If you have a verb that finishes with a consonant, vowel, and consonant.
Very good. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Double the last consonant. Example, jog, jogging. Run, running. And so forth, no? The exceptions, there are more, but I just found one. Dying. The rule number two says that when the verb finishes in E, delete the E. Why we don't delete the E and dying? You know that verb, die? No? To dye your hair. When the women or men paint their hair, you don't say that paint their hair, you dye your hair. ¿Sí, Gaby?
In Spanish, teñir el cabello.
Very good. Excellent. So, but because it's very similar to die or morir, you need to make an exception and not delete the I, so you can make a difference between the two verbs. Okay? Adiós. Possible activities, family vacations, what are they doing? Because I had a big poster that I lost, but it was a big poster with a seashore and a bunch of people doing activities, playing football, drinking, dancing, swimming, blah, blah, blah. And every person had a name. So you could ask, what is Pablo doing? No? Or what is Jessica doing? Or what is, so it was a pretty cool poster. I'm sure you can download it from the internet now, but you know. And then possible problems. Number one problem is lack of vocabulary. Teachers, pay attention to me. Always is going to be your problem number one with your students. Why? It's a tricky question. Gaby? Your audio?
Excuse me. They don't know how to speak it and explain the flashcard.
Because they're students. Always is going to be a lack of vocabulary. They need vocabulary. They need new vocabulary. Now, maybe Jessica may say, that teacher, that's obvious. But you know what, Jessica and everybody? I've seen teachers assuming that students know. That's a huge mistake for you teachers. Don't do that. Students don't know, they're students. They're there to learn. And then they even get mad. Miss, ¿cómo se dice? Oh, Juanita, ¿no leíste? ¿No sabes? Pues no sabe. They're students. So always be ahead of your students. So if your topic is family in vacations and the seashore at the beach, think in the vocabulary your students may ask for. And before they say, Miss, ¿cómo se dice bailar en la noche? Miss, ¿cómo se dice echar tequila? So then you will actually do the vocabulary before. See my point? Okay, so never assume students know. They don't know. They're students. Number two problem is maybe not relevant for students. That's actually a problem too. So know your students, their background, their social status, and see, for example, family vacations at the beach, I don't wanna sound discriminatory, but like, for example, in the woods or community that they don't really know the beach, it will be very difficult to teach present continuous with the beach. See my point? So know your students and adapt it. Okay. Yes, Jessica.
So you mean we should adapt our activity to the same to them?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes, it's very important to do that, Jessica.
Okay.
The program tells you, the book says a reading or a grammar about a topic about, I don't know, cricket. It's a whole unit about cricket and famous players about cricket. Do you know what cricket is, Jessica?
Yeah, it's a kind of Indian game.
Well, actually,
Okay.
it's not Indian, eh? It's
know.
actually is British.
Oh.
And it's very popular in India, yes, but
Oh,
the original is in England. I don't know if you watch the movie or read the book Alice and the Wonderland.
No.
¿No has visto Alicia en el País de las Maravillas?
No, I don't like that movie.
Okay, well, in that book, they play cricket. Jessica, do you think your students will know what cricket is?
No.
And let me put it this way. Even if they know, do you think they like it and care for it?
No. No.
No. So as much as you can, I know you can't totally because you work for an institution, but as much as you can, why don't you change from cricket to soccer? Soccer is more popular. And I would even go beyond that, and I will bring America flashcard, Cruz Azul flashcard, Chivas flashcard to make it appealing to your students.
Teacher, is it correct to, well, thinking in my students, possible action of my students, is it correct to adapt, maybe to say, Carlitos, you like playing soccer? Okay, Juanito, you like swimming? Or the same activity. In this case, we're talking about sports. In this, is it correct to adapt the same activity for all them, or at least the must know activity, in this case soccer, or giving them individual activities like, oh, you like swimming, you like tennis, blah, blah, blah?
Juan Gabriel has that answer. I do. It depends on you. It depends on your students. If you have a group that you know that everybody likes soccer, we'll go for it. But then if you have a mixture of students that some are ladies that like, I don't know, swimming, other likes ballet, all that likes and so forth, well, then you will do individually. It depends on the group, actually.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then possible questions. Les explico. En el poster que perdí, it was a big poster, and then the title, it was something like a beautiful day or family day or something like that, something about day under a shining sun. Okay? So guess what? No faltaba el smart ass that, teacher, ¿y por qué shining sun? No debería ser the sun is shining. So terminé cubriendo con un masking tape el título. So check the questions. In other words, prevent the questions from your students. And then, excuse me, the joker, for me, it was mimic the action, no? All right, good. So far, so good? Now, I'm going to, excuse me, you are going to do an analysis for a grammar structure. Okay? Let me put it in the chat. Josué and Jessica, you're going to do third conditional. ¿Sale? Susana and Isaac and Gaby, you're going to do uno difícil, digo, para que acá. Reported speech. ¿Sale? Everybody can see the chat? All right, cool. So I'm going to divide the class into the small groups, and I'm going to be sending you over WhatsApp the example of the analysis. And then we have something that I didn't have back in my day that is called Saint Google. So feel free to Google all the, everything referring to the grammar structure. Let me give you all the permission so you can share screen. Good. Yes, yes. Josué and Jessica, right? Here's Gaby, Isaac, Susana. Yes.